This episode of the Investigator Games was recorded in front of a studio audience for Horrors Without Borders charity livestream.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like we've got Kymani Jones on the docket
Yes,
today. Ooh.
that's right. Yes.
So you're going to have to explain to me what this investigator does, because I have never played Kymani Jones yet.
Yes. Well, part of the reason in the Investigator Games why I go through the through the Investigator card is because I don't remember either. So if I don't do this, I'd never know what I was doing. So we'll go through Kymani Jones and their card, those sorts of things. Then I'm going to go through the starter deck that I've built. Because in the good old days, FFG used to create starter decks. They don't do that anymore. So I've built a starter deck from the Scarlet Keys and the base game. So I'll just take you through that, and then we could kick off. So yes, Kymani Jones, security consultant, traded a criminal, rogue investigator. So stat line 3 willpower, which is fairly high for a rogue, I think. But only 2 intellect and 2 fight, or combat, 2 combat, and then a massive 5 agility. So a couple of things here. This can make, I guess, true solo a little bit challenging in some contexts because intellect and fight are on the lowish side. Really that can be a little bit challenging. So... But the upside is, in terms of fighting at least, the 5 agility really takes care of that. And the reason for that is that you can engage an exhausted enemy at your location. So an enemy that's already exhausted, you can, as a fast action, engage them. And when you attempt to evade an exhausted non-elite enemy, you can add your intellect skill value to this attempt. So essentially around at least a 7. If you succeed by at least X, discard that enemy. X is that. If you succeed by at least X, discard that enemy, where X is that enemy's remaining health. So it's a way of dealing with enemies with evasion, a bit like fighting. So there's pretty powerful effect. And so fight, you don't really need your combat skill unless, of course, you're doing other sorts of skill tests, because Kymani can evade, engage, and then evade again. So essentially it's a sort of takes 2 actions to do that. The only other issue with Kymani is, of course, with enemies with larger health. You might need to bring that health down a bit before you try that special reaction trigger. And then the Elder Sign effect is +1, and if there's an exhausted enemy at your location, you automatically succeed. So it's pretty sort of standard Elder Sign effect. This doesn't belong to you. 8 physical, 6 mental, so a little bit lowish on the sort of mental strength side of things. But, you can manage that with allies. So there we go. Pretty interesting design. I really like it. I really like the idea of being able to use agility as an ability in combat. Essentially, it's a really clever design. So yeah, Kymani seems really strong from that perspective. So if we just turn Kymani over here. Have a look at
but before we turn Kymani over, speaking of cleverness, we have a $100 donation from the Plateau of Lang here, with the message coming in saying a great fundraiser for a great organization. Agreed on both counts. And Nate, did the man from Lang make good on his threat earlier? What's in my deck?
He has decided to let the Threads of Fate decide what cards shall be included, but he has decided 2 cards. So
Okay. Add those to the list. Thank you so much, man. What's that? I thought I heard something. If not, carry on, Robin.
No worries. I just the other thing I just realised is that my kids donated and they didn't nominate a card for the deck.
Oh, we know what you wanted. We know what you wanted.
yeah, Armageddon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Magic
Really?
the Gathering Armageddon. Yep.
Okay, I will make that work. We thought it was another Kukri, but I'll make it work.
Okay, Kymani, deck size 30, rogue cards and tool cards. So this is critical. This makes Kymani a very flexible investigator, taking tool cards level 0 to 4. You'll see that I've taken advantage of that in their deck that I've put together. Neutral cards 0 to 5. So they also have some special cards. I'll go through those in a sec. And you get bonus experience. You start the campaign with 5 additional experience as well. So that's a nice little bonus. Not sure why they FFG decided to include bonus experience. Maybe because I don't know, but you start with those 5 bonus experience, and we've got to respect that at the Investigator Games. So this is their backstory. When Taino artifacts went missing from the Miskatonic Museum, Kymani was hired to assess the museum's liability. Of course, Kymani already knew who the thief was. It had been their own heist all along. Dun, 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 dun. But Kymani had no interest in selling the relics. As far as Kymani was concerned, they weren't the one who really stole them. No, Kymani had sent the historical artifacts back home where they truly belonged. The museum and the insurance company see only a villain to catch, but Kymani is faster, smarter, and better. There we go. So that's Kymani Jones in a nutshell. Now, if I just go to the cards I've put together, as I said, from the base set and also from the Scarlet Keys. So not a huge range of cards to choose from. But if we just start with, so special card is the Grappling Hook, a really interesting card. It's a 3-cost asset, 3 pips. Actions performed using the Grappling Hook do not provoke attacks of opportunity. It takes up a hand slot. You take 2 actions, you can exhaust the Grappling Hook, and then you get 3 actions. So 2 for 3, but you have to take 3 different basic actions from the following list in any order: engage, evade, investigate, or move. If you investigate, use your agility instead of your intellect. So that really is a nice synergy with Kymani. It's a little bit tricky working out how to use the 3 and when to use the 3. That's what I found when I've tried using Kymani. But it's pretty effective getting 2 for 3. And if you've got Leo DeLuca on board as well, you can start to really ramp up the number of actions that you get. So that's the Grappling Hook. Pretty nice card, really interesting design. So, really good. The weakness, Kymani's signature weakness is a enemy weakness, Agent Fletcher. Alert and Hunter, 2/3/3 in terms of fight, health, and evade. And while Kymani Jones is evading, Agent Fletcher reduce their intellect value to 0. So, it's a fairly mild effect there. But remember that one way that Kymani is probably going to be trying to get rid of Agent Fletcher is through that evasion ability that they have, and so that does nerf that to a degree. I know who you really are, Jones. Yes, that's Agent Fletcher. The random weakness that I drew was arm injury, which actually we have no way of healing this. So as long as we don't get frozen in fear and arm injury, I think we'll be okay. That would be a bit, draw the Ghoul Priest, then get arm injury and frozen in fear will be really in a bad way. But hopefully that won't happen. What are the odds? And then, in terms of what I chose here, I chose the tool belt because tool assets are key. So tool belt is a no-brainer. I mean, it really is designed for Kymani. I think the tool belt, it takes a body slot. You can exhaust the tool belt and attach a tool asset in your play area to it, or switch or attach an asset, or detach and attach asset. You can do all of those things. So it essentially allows you to swap in and out different tools, which is really handy. So that's the tool belt. We then have the Thieves Kit, which is also from Scarlet Keys, which was a no-brainer as well for Kymani. It has 6 supplies. That's really generous. Takes up a hand slot. It's a tool. Spend a supply, investigate, and you use your agility. So that's, intellect. And if you succeed, gain a resource. So a kind of a Dr. Milan Christopher effect. Really nice. No-brainer for Kymani as well if we want to get clues, because 2 intellect isn't going to cut it most of the time. Why do I keep these on me? Why? To be better informed regarding the unsavory methods of art thieves, of course. There's the flavor text there. Then we've got the Pocket Multi-Tool, which takes up a hand slot, again from the Scarlet Keys. This is the upgraded one, so it has the pry bar option. So you get +1 when doing treachery, skill test against treachery. So it's got a fast action. During a skill test you are performing exhaust Pocket Multi-Tool, you get +1 skill value for this test. But wait, there's more. So that's nice. The only issue with all this is the cost. Some of these are pretty pricey, so that's probably going to be a bit of a problem. If we're not careful, we could end up just, everything just costs too much. The other tool was a no-brainer, magnifying glass. It's a 0 cost asset when it's upgraded. You get +1. It's the standard thing with the magnifying glass. So a whole bunch of tools essentially for helping with skill tests, in particular getting clues, because without clues we ain't going anywhere in the Investigator games. So that was a core part. Then the other thing I added in was, this is around evasion and evasion ability. So there's disguise. Again, from Scarlet Keys, 3 cost asset, 4 supply. Spend a supply, evade. You get +2 agility for this evasion attempt. If you succeed, an evaded enemy is non-elite. It does not ready during the next upkeep phase. So that really kind of turbocharges that. And you'll notice there are no weapons in this deck, because with 2 combat, it didn't feel like there was much point. So I'm really relying on getting sneak attack and backstabs to deal with the Ghoul Priest here. So we've got sneak attack, obviously, 2 damage to an exhausted enemy, well, easily exhaust an enemy, and backstab, of course, uses your agility instead of fight, and this does +2 damage. So if I'm getting those cards, I'm keeping them for the Ghoul Priest, because that's the only way we're going to be able to kill the Ghoul Priest. I've got a couple of manual dexterities to help with all of that. Got a couple of overpowers, to take out low-level cultists or something like that if we really need to. We've got Leo DeLuca in here as well. Slightly upgraded version. So if we can get Leo in early, that's going to help the Investigator games. Those at the top tend to get Leo DeLuca on board, because it just gives you those extra turns, particularly if you can get Leo on board at the beginning. And then apart from that, we just have Opportunist, which helps with skill tests. We've got a couple of Guts. We've got a couple of Unexpected Courages. We've got a couple of Perceptions. And we've got a couple of Emergency Caches. So that's the deck. Don't know what you think, but really lent into the tools. I think it's pretty strong. I think Kymani's got a pretty good chance with this deck. Yeah. So anyway, I had a chat to Kymani in the green room. We had a good chat. Now, I didn't know this, but Kymani is the security specialist for the Investigator games. And I didn't realize Kymani has thousands of... So Kymani looks after security for the investigators at the house and around Arkham in Midnight Masks, but also security for crowds as well. I didn't realize, but Kymani has hundreds of hours of CCTV footage. We have CCTV cameras throughout the house, make sure everything is, goes properly, and has viewed that footage and believes that they can use that to get an edge, because they've seen how the other investigators have operated, how the enemies have operated. So we shall see. But what I didn't also realize is back in episode 19, Finn actually souvenired an ashtray from the study I didn't realise that, so I wondered where that had gone. So apparently that's on CCTV. So I'll be having a chat to Finn about that. We can't have people souveniring things like ashtrays and various mementos from the study and the attic and the cellar without our knowledge. So not cool, Finn. I will be having words with you after this. Okay, so there we go. All right, let's close and shuffle up. And I think we're ready to roll here in the gathering. We're all set up here in Octagon. Here's Kymani in the study, walking around the study, checking out the CCTV cameras, waiting for the crowds to settle down before we start the Investigator Games. Let me just shuffle up the encounter deck. Yeah, everything's set out. So all we've got to do is really got to wait for the horn. And whilst we do, let's read out the good old agenda and the act deck. I could probably read these out without actually reading them. I reckon I know them off by heart by now. But anyway, what's going on? It's late at night and you're holed up in your study researching the bloody disappearances that have been taking place in the region. A few hours into your research, you hear a sound of strange chanting coming from your parlour down the hall. At the same time, you hear dirt churning as if something were digging beneath the floor. And trapped! As you leap to investigate, no, in this case, Kymani 5 agility, literally a leap. As you leap to investigate, the door to your study vanishes before your eyes, leaving behind only solid wall. You're trapped inside your study until you can find another way out. So there we go. There we go. So we've just got to wait for oh, there it goes. There it goes. There goes the horn, and the crowd goes wild as we start episode 49 of season 1 of the Investigator Games. Wow, yes, here we are. Okay, let's shuffle up. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Well, we want Leo DeLuca, because if we can grab Leo DeLuca at the beginning, if we get Leo DeLuca at the end, it just doesn't matter. We really need Leo at the beginning, so I will be aggressively mulliganing to try and get Leo. Grappling hook is really good. Tool belt is good. Any of the tools basically are really good. What I don't want to happen is we end up stuck in the study for like 5 turns trying to get these clues. So any way we can expedite that at the beginning is going to be really helpful. So yeah. The other thing I didn't mention is that I don't think we're going to be getting Lita Chandler on board. I think that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Unless we've got a whole lot of cards with intellect pips at the end, I really don't think that's going to happen. So let's draw many, see how we go. We'll draw our 5. And what do we see here? Ooh, okay, well, there's Leo. Yay! Okay, so we've got Leo. That's good. And we've got a sneak attack. Well, we want to keep that because we want to make sure that we've got those for the Ghoul Priest a little bit later. So I'm happy with those. These 3 I'm less enamored with because we really need some cards to get our way out of the study, and they're not really going to help. So I'm going to throw these 3 in. I could keep Unexpected Courage. I guess that would help get at least 1 clue, but I really want to draw 3 more. So let's draw 3 more. We get the Pocket Multi-Tool, we get Manual Dexterity, and we get an Emergency Cash. Okay, well, that's all right. I guess the Pocket Multi-Tool gives us a +1 skill value, so that's something. That's going to be at least helpful. But I can immediately see that actually the one thing that I was hoping we would have an issue with is trying to get out of the study. Oh boy. Okay. Never mind. We will work with what we've got. So let's kick off. So yes. Let's go ahead and first action. Let's okay, I can see what we're going to need to do here. So first action, we will spend our resources Yeah, and we will bring out Leo. Perfect. So that gives us an extra action. So there we go. We are already, this is already a good sign. We've got Leo DeLuca on board. So second action, I'll play Emergency Cash. And then third action, I'll play the Pocket Multi-Tool. So at least now we've got +1 to things like intellect abilities. And speaking of which, for our final action, we will go ahead and investigate. We will exhaust the Pocket Multi-Tool. Oops. Yeah. And we will investigate. So because we get a +1 to the skill value for this test, so that gives us a 3 versus a 2. So a 1-up. I mean, skulls are 0. So we should be okay. Let's see what the Chaos Bag gives us. And the Chaos Bag gives us -4. Oh dear. That's a good start, isn't it? But anyway, so that was the first round. It was just a setup round. We brought out Leo DeLuca. We played Emergency Cash. We brought out the Pocket Multi-Tool. Then we tried to investigate and failed miserably. So much for the CCTV footage. So there we go. That's our first action. So first round. So what we'll try and do next time is really focus on those clues and try and get out of the study. So we will move into the enemy phase, or the enema phase, as I like to call it. And there are no enemas to speak of. So we will move into the upkeep phase. We get overpower. We are really missing things like perception and things like that. But to be honest, it's really the cellar where we're really going to need those sorts of things. So that's okay. That's a fight. That we can use that. So let's move forward into the Mythos phase. The first Doom is down. Let's see what the Encounter deck has. And the Encounter deck has Ancient Evils. It's going to be one of those games, is it? Oh, boy. Put a Doom on the current agenda. Okay. Doom, yeah. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, the Gathering isn't overly problematic from a turn perspective, not like Midnight Masks. So let's move into the investigation phase. 4 actions. On to Kymani. And we will see how we go. Yes. So, okay. Well, it's pretty clear what we need to do. We need to grab these 2 clues. So let's exhaust the good old Pocket Multi-Tool again and go for a 3 on a 2. Come on, Kymani. And Elder Sign. Woohoo! Da-da! Ding, ding, ding. Okay, here we go. Yep, +1. Yep. So we grab the clue. Yeah, we didn't need to use our Pocket Multi-Tool, so there we go. That's the first clue. Okay, second action, it's just a 2 on a 2 now. 2 on a 2. There's no way I'm using the sneak attack. Let's see how we go. We got another Elder Sign. 2 Elder Signs in a row. Oh my goodness. Crowd goes crazy. Can you believe it? Wow.
Well, on the other hand, we at the Great Old Ones like to say that it can only go down from here.
Yeah. What could go wrong? Okay, so there we go. We've got both of the clues. So now if I had 1 action left, I'd probably hang around in the study, because then you can automatically, get rid of an enemy. However, this is the Investigator Games, and speed is everything. So you really need to try to do things as quickly as possible. The other thing about the Investigator Games, which the investigators are not happy about, they've told me this, they're not happy about this, but that's the way it is. The Gathering, the number of points you get in the Gathering is highly luck dependent, because the investigators who've topped the table in the Gathering with 8 points, for example, just have happened to get the icy ghoul and the flesh-eating ghoul, or whatever it's called, in the attic, and so there's a little bit too much luck involved for some of the investigators. But that's just the way it goes. So anyway, that's a very long-winded response to we are going to use our 2 clues. We're going to get ourselves out of the study. Okay, so here we go. So trap. So we'll flip that over, and it says The door on the floor. You notice that the edges of your newly purchased rug are tattered and mud-stained. Finding this odd, you shift the furniture aside and pull back the rug. To your surprise, you see a door leading out of your study. You slowly turn the knob, door swings open, revealing the hallway below. You jump through the doorway, landing on your feet. Soft dirt. The door to the study slams shut above you. The smell of burning wood fills the narrow hall, intermingled with the scent of rot and decay. Yes, rot and decay. Right, so we get rid of the study. Bye-bye study. Doink. We're in the hallway. Whee! Oop. Whee! Here we go. Hallway. Yep. And remove the study from the game. Okay, there we go. So we're in the hallway. And we're on the barrier. A glowing barrier blocks the path to your parlour. As you move toward it, intense heat forces you to back away. Picking up a handful of dirt, you toss it at the barrier and watch in horror as the dirt incinerates. Perhaps there's something in the cellar or the attic that can help. Yes, when the round ends, investigators in the hallway may as a group spend the requisite number of clues to advance. So there we go. Well, we are not going to stay in the hallway. We are going up to the attic. La-di-da-di-da, up to the attic. There we go. And I was talking about the flavor text on the attic earlier. The smell of rotten meat assaults your nostrils as you approach the attic stairs. Whew. Okay, and here we are. In the attic, the bloody carcass of a malformed beast swings from a meat hook chained to the ceiling. Blood drains slowly from the carcass, dripping into a small barrel. Ouch! I just realised, actually, it's kind of whoever strung up the carcass of a malformed beast was very tidy, weren't they? They were really concerned about making too much of a mess, so much so that they put a barrel under the carcass of a malformed beast. So whoever the person was who butchered the malformed beast clearly is concerned and is a bit of a neat freak to ensure that all of the blood and guts are captured in the barrel. That's very nice that they did that. Anyway, it's too much for Kymani. Take a horror. Okay, let's take the old horror.
Oh, and speaking of horror, Jason Conlon has added $25 to the cause with the very on-point message, "It can only go up from here," says Jason Conlon. So you've got yourself a believer in the audience tonight. And we're going to hear, we're going to hear from the Miko Brain Case, also known as Nate, what Jason Conlon has added to my deck today. What do we got?
I'm glad that I'm now the Migo Brain Case. That is
it's it's just it's organic. It just happened.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right, what do we got?
Yeah. So he has chosen to add an interesting card, a card called A Fortunate Accident from the Call of Cthulhu LCG. And according to the donation here, let me pull this up real quick. It says a Fortunate Accident is a Call of Cthulhu LCG card featuring, I'm going to butcher this name, Erwin Coquin?
Spoiler.
Who would become
Spoilers. You got spoilers in there, Nate. I hope I talked over you well enough, because there are some major spoilers.
Sorry, I didn't realize those were spoilers. Anyway, so
yes,
I don't know how that'll work later on, but we'll figure that out as we get there. And there is no competition at this point. It seems the Shuggas have reigned supreme as far as the favorite Mythos monster is concerned, but there's still time to turn it around. Let's keep the donations rolling, and we'll get back to you, Krabby.
Awesome. Good on you, Jason. Awesome. I think this combination of cards from Magic the Gathering, and it's going to be quite an interesting play.
We've got Call of Cthulhu. We've got signature weaknesses. This is going to be crazy. Sorry to have shouted out the spoiler there, but there's some Scarlet Keys stuff in that card.
Oh yes, yeah, there would be interesting. Yeah.
Carry on.
No worries. So yes, we are here in the attic with the barrel, and we've taken our horror. We've got one action left. I think we just go ahead and investigate. Here we go. So we are we're a mere 2 this time, 2 on a 1, so we're 1 up. Let's just go ahead and see if we can get another Elder Sign, and we get skull. Close enough. So we get another clue. Wow. So Yeah, Kymani is really racing through the gathering, which is awesome. That means we've got time to draw into cards we need to kill the Ghoul Priest. We might even draw into cards so we've got enough intellect pips that we could get Leader Chandler. Anything is possible at this stage, but as we know, things have a habit of going horribly, horribly wrong. We will see. So, yeah, pretty good round. We started in the study. We got ourselves, I'm just trying to think what we did. We got ourselves the clue. We moved into the hallway. We moved up to the attic and we investigated. So there we go. So let's move into the enema phase. There are no enemas to speak of. So we will move into upkeep and we get ourselves opportunist. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still not quite what I'm after. If we're going to get clues in the cellar, we're going to need some more cards here than what we've got. So otherwise, the cellar is going to be very challenging. So anyway, we've got time to deal with that. So let's move into the mythos phase. And here we go. The third doom is down. Let's see what's on the other side. Here we go. And we are on a lapse in time. Your house continues to change before your very eyes. The walls have decayed and the ground in many rooms has turned to dirt. It's almost as if you've been transported somewhere else entirely, although every now and again you recognise elements of your former home. There's my gold-plated grappling hook. I wonder where that was. The lead investigator must decide either each investigator discards a card at random from his or her hand, or we take 2 horror. Oh, well, I don't really want to lose these cards. So we've got Leo DeLuca, so I'm going to... because we don't want to lose sneak attack. 25% chance of losing that. So I'm going to put a horror onto... I'm going to tempt fate here. And we will take the 2 horror. It will be okay. Okay. And we are now in Rise of the Ghouls. The floor beneath you is giving way, and you see a vast network of tunnels twisting in the darkness below. Shapes and silhouettes of strange creatures move swiftly through the tunnels, trying to find a way up. You probably don't want to be here when they do. There we go. So Rise of the Ghouls. 7. And yeah, we've got 3 clues at the end of the round to advance in the hallway. We're a bit away from that at the moment. Okay. Good-o. Let's see what the good old encounter deck has for us. And it has... rats. Yes, we got ourselves some rats. A swarm of rats. Oh, man. Okay. Well, it could be worse. Pretty easy to deal with. A horde of cruel rats skitters forth in an undulating wave of claws, teeth, and mottled fur. There we go. All right, let's move on to the investigator investigation phase. 4 action. Oops, what are we doing here? 4 actions onto Kymani. All right, well, let's get rid of these rats. Let's do the good old. I think it's punching time. I think I'm not going to use these cards at the moment. We've got plenty of actions. Let's just go ahead and do a 1 versus a 2. So first action, 1 versus a 2. Chaos Bag gives us a 0. Look at that. Dead. Wow. Kymani, Rat Killer. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and try and get this clue. Let's exhaust the pocket multi-tool to do this. So we're a 3 versus a 1. We are 2 up. Let's see what the Chaos Bag has. -1. There we go. So we got the clue, which means we have our first victory point, and the crowd goes wild. There we go. Crowd goes wild. We've got our first victory point, and it's only turn 3, so things are going really, really well for Kymani so far. But I have a feeling things might start to slow down. So now I could go down to the cellar, but I'm not going to. And the reason is because there is an outside possibility that the special ghoul might turn up in the attic, and we don't want to have to go back there and take more horror. So I'm going to hang around in the attic for a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a card. Unexpected Courage, okay. Do I tempt fate and draw another card? Probably take a resource. Don't want to tempt fate with that. There we go. So, yeah, pretty uneventful round, really. I mean, we got rid of the rats. We got the clue. We got ourselves a victory point. We drew Unexpected Courage, and we took a resource. So, really, we really need something to supercharge our investigation ability. And that's what, I mean, we've got Unexpected Courage, I suppose, but we've got to try and get 2 clues in the cellar. And at the moment, we're not really set up to do that. So hopefully we will draw into that. Let's see how we go. Okay, so we'll move into the enema phase. There are again no enemas to speak of. We punch the rats to death. And we get another sneak attack. Well, there we go. I think the Ghoul Priest is going to be toast. But we are really still not getting what we need. Really weird. You'd think we had no cards in terms of getting clues, but we're just not drawing into them at the moment in the upkeep phase. So we will move into the Mythos phase. The first Doom of the Addenda 2A is down. Let's see what the encounter deck has. And the encounter deck has... man, I hate the Ravenous Ghoul. Man. Okay. All right. So we got the Ravenous Ghoul. Ravenous Ghoul is the worst card because Ravenous Ghoul is tough, but you get no victory points. So it's really kind of not worth taking the time, to be honest. So I think we're going to evade the Ravenous Ghoul and just sort of move on, I think. So, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, let's move in to the investigation phase. 4 actions onto Kymani. Okay, first action, let's evade the Ravenous Ghoul. So we are a 5 versus a 3. Let's make that a 6. Let's make that an 8. That's overkill, isn't it? We don't need to do that. 7. Yeah, let's just do that because we'll draw cards as well and we'll get opportunists back. So let's see how we go. So as long as we don't auto fail, it's in the bag, so to speak. Chaos Bag says...
How many is that tonight?
I think that's 7. I think it's 7.
Oh, man. All right. Okay. Let's move on. No alert, thank goodness. All right. We will try that again. We will just do a straight 5 versus a 3. 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag. Oh, my goodness. These are crazy. Like, if you were drawing these from a real Chaos Bag, you would be wondering, you'd be like shaking the bag like we haven't shaken these up enough. Oh my goodness!
Turns out it's a hole in the bottom, and there's only 2 tokens left.
Yes, right. Okay. Oh my goodness! Talk about it's like a roller coaster ride of Chaos Bag. There we go. So, okay. So I'm going to take 2 actions now. Move to the hallway and move down to the cellar. Oh, yes, we head down to the cellar. Donk, donk. Donk. And as we're going down to the cellar, we're so busy chatting with Leo DeLuca about our pocket multi-tool and how awesome it is that we're not looking what we're doing. We trip and tumble down the stairs and take a damage. Ouch! Let's take a damage. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're ready to roll in the cellar next time. Okay, let's move on to the enema phase. There is an enemy, the Ravenous Ghoul, in the attic, but not doing anything. So we'll move into upkeep. Guts. Okay. Boy. Okay. Let's move into the Mythos phase. Second Doom is down. Let's see what the encounter deck has. And it has Grasping Hands. Okay. Well, we can... This is a Treachery card. So that means we can use our pocket multi-tool to get a +1 for that. So I think, is that a bonus +1 with the pry bar? So that's a +2, I think. Am I that right? I think so. I'm not 100% sure about that, actually. It said you get a +1 skill value for treachery cards. Yeah, I don't... I should have double-checked that. Anyway, let's go ahead and do that. So we're a 6. Let's just go for 6 on 3. I'm sure it's fine. Get a tablet, so we succeed. There isn't, so, yeah, no worries. Okay, let's move in to the investigation phase. 4 actions onto Kymani. Now, we have a real problem here because we are an intellect of 2. Even with the pocket multi-tool, that wouldn't be enough. I mean, the best we can do is get up to 4. So the problem is we just don't have the cards. So I'm going to try and draw into something here. So we will draw into backstab. Well, there you go. We've got all the cards we need to kill the Ghoul Priest, but we don't have all the cards to get the clues. Let's draw again. Let's see what we get. And we get opportunity. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's give it a go. Let's commit both of these to investigations. So we are a 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 1 up, 5 on a 4. Let's go ahead and see how we go. Chaos bag gives a -1. There we go. Now we don't succeed by 3 or more, so we don't get to keep these, but we do get the clue. So at the very least, we've got all the clues we need, but obviously we want to get this final clue for the victory point. That's what it's all about in the Investigator game. So I am going to draw a card. I'm going to tempt fate and draw a card on my final action, and we get Agent Fletcher. No, not Agent Fletcher. Okay.
Running a dangerous gambit drawing that last card.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that's all right. We can deal with Agent Fletcher, no problem. Okay, so there we go. All right. Oh, alert and hunter. Oh, really? Oh no. Okay. Let's move into the enema phase. Okay, and yes, we take a damage and a horror. Let's put a damage onto Leo. Let's take the horror. Oops. 3 horror. Oof. Okay. Changes things quite significantly now. Oh boy. Okay. Yes, upkeep phase. Another unexpected courage. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yes, I think we might need to use our sneak attack on the old Agent Fletcher. Okay. Let's move into the Mythos phase. 3 Doom. Let's see what the encounter deck has. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Things suddenly getting a little bit rougher and tougher than they were before. Oh my goodness. Boy. Okay. Oh, hello, Kymani. Well, we've gone from things are pretty good to things are looking a little bit dicier now. It's all right. We can deal with this. Investigation phase. Okay, 4 actions onto Kymani. Okay. Right. So, what do we do here? I think... Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking we can probably use our yes to deal with the ghoul minion. Should be able to do that, our special ability. So because we can use sneak attack, but I don't want to use up these sneak attacks. We need... See, backstab and sneak attack will get rid of the Ghoul Priest. So we've got 1 sneak attack in hand, which I want to use on Agent Fletcher. So what I'm going to do here is, I think first action, I'm going to evade the ghoul minion. Which are 2 versus a 5. I think we're pretty safe there. So let's go ahead and do that. 2 versus a 5. Chaos Bag gives us a -1. So we evade the ghoul minion. Hey, where have you gone? So evaded. We can engage the ghoul minion. Yep. And then we can actually no, it's not an attack of opportunity because it's a fast action, so that's good. Then we can evade this enemy. So we can now for the ghoul minion we can add our 2 intellect, so we're at a 7. A 7 versus a 2. Now, if we succeed by 2, we get rid of the ghoul minion. So if we're a 7 versus a 2, and we need to succeed by 2, then that's 3 or better. That's 3 or better. So it's whether we throw in. Maybe we just do we use our pocket multi-tool? Do we keep that for Agent Fletcher? We're up by 3. If we want to get rid of, I'm going to throw in. Yes, I'll throw in unexpected courage. So that means we're 7. We're a 9 versus a 2. That's probably overkill, but I really want to get rid of this ghoul minion. I can't afford to be taking horror and damage. So let's go ahead and evade again. Let's see how we go. And we get a tablet, which is a -2. Okay, so that succeeds because we go 9 minus 2 is 7. We have more than succeeded in killing the ghoul minion. However, in the process, we do take a damage. Gone. Nice. But that was the second to evade. But we do take a damage. That's all right. We can deal with damage. All right. Whew. Okay. 2 actions left. So I think we go ahead and we evade Agent Fletcher. 5 versus 3. 6. 6 versus 3, so we're 3 up. Seems pretty good. Let's see how we go. Chaos Bag. Oh! No, not again. And that is, alert. So we take a damage and a horror. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Everything is going wrong here. Oh boy. I can't believe it. Oh boy. Oh no. Ooh. Let's go again. Yep, let's evade again. Unbelievable. We're a 5 versus a 3. A 5 versus 3. Yep, 5 versus 3. Chaos Bag gives us a skull, which is a 0. So we do evade. Wow, what a round. So we managed to evade the ghoul minion. Then we engaged the exhausted enemy. Then we evaded again, and we succeeded in getting rid of the ghoul minion. Then we failed to evade our Agent Fletcher, and we took damage. And then we were able to evade him. So we've still got to deal with him. I thought he was a pretty uneventful kind of weakness, but actually he's much more of a problem than I thought he was going to be. But that's all right. We'll move forward. Enemy phase, nothing happens. Upkeep. Okay, we get the magnifying glass. So that's something. That's great. Okay, we now have more of an ability to investigate. So there we go. Let's go ahead and see what the good old. So there's now 4 on the mythos. We're really, things are slowing down somewhat. Let's see what we get from the encounter deck. Oh my goodness. Get the icy ghoul. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Oh no. It just goes from bad to worse. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, the real Arkham horror, the card game starts here. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. What am I going to do? I don't know. Oh my goodness. The crowd is gasping. Oh boy. Okay. Let's move in to the investigation phase. Oh, four actions to Kymani. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, what the hell do we do here? Oh my goodness. We're going to have to start using some of these other cards now that I didn't want to have to use. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Oof. So the first thing, the icy ghoul is quite difficult to evade. So I think the first thing is we've got to try and evade the icy ghoul. Yes. So first action, let's go ahead and just straight up evade 4 versus 5. Let's make that with the pocket multi-tool, that's a 6 versus a 4. So we're 2 up. Chaos Bag gives us a cultist, so we succeed. So we evade the icy ghoul. That's a good start. Ooh, okay. Right. Second action, let's evade Agent Fletcher. Yep. So let's go ahead. 5 versus 3. 5 versus 3. I don't want to commit backstab to this. So 5 versus 3. Let's see how we go. We get a -3. I don't believe it. No. No. We take more damage. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No. We're going to have to lose Leo DeLuca at this rate. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Let's go ahead and do it again. Whew. Okay, and we get a -4 now. Oh, we fail again. We're going to have to get rid of Leo DeLuca. Leo DeLuca has gone. We take a physical damage. I cannot believe this. This is, oh my goodness, and we lose our action. I think this is it. I think we're gone. I think we're a goner. Oh no. Yeah, because we had to get rid of Leo DeLuca to take the mental trauma. And indeed, we lost our 4th action. And indeed, in the enemy phase, Agent Fletcher does another damage and horror to us, and we go insane. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh dear.
That game went downhill very quickly. That was brutal.
Oh my goodness. Things were going so well, and then suddenly we got the auto fail when we were committing, and then and then we got the icy ghoul. We evaded the icy ghoul, but then Agent Fletcher, we just kept failing. We kept failing our skill tests and taking more and more horror, and just incredible. That was totally unexpected. Oh no, Kymani only ends up with 1 victory point at turn 7. That is such a disappointment, because we were ready for the Ghoul Priest. We had everything we needed to take down the Ghoul Priest. that would have been relatively easy. Evade, backstab, sneak attack, easy. It just things just went from bad to worse. There you go.
The ghouls dragged you down into the basement, it seems.
That's right. With the help of Agent Fletcher, that bastard.
I sense a new rivalry between you and Agent Fletcher now.
Yeah, that dude, I tell ya.
Yeah, he's brutal. I think I was under the same impression that you were, Krabby, that, he doesn't seem that bad.
Nah.
You're like, he'll be fine. He was brutal to you all game. What a jerk.
I think he's not bad if you're like Kymani's friend. And you're the one who has to deal with that combat of 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'll just shoot him. He's only got a combat of 2. It'll be all right. But when you're Kymani themselves, it's like, uh-oh.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it was the other thing was I just got all these cards from investigating. This didn't come up as well, so we couldn't get ourselves. If we were in the hallway, it would have been a lot more straight. So anyway. That's just that's the way it goes in the Investigator games. That's the way that it goes. Thanks very much, everybody. That if things don't go badly, sometimes for some of the Investigators, it would be a pretty boring series. So, but that's got to be one of the most disappointing runs I think we've had in the entire history of the Investigator games. That was pretty brutal. So there we go. So thanks everybody.
Well, thank you, Krabby Terror. It's always a pleasure to watch you play through The Gathering.
No worries. And the thing I like about playing The Gathering is because I know it so well, I don't have to think about the actual mechanics of it. You can just focus on everything else, which makes it a very pleasant play from that perspective. So,
Absolutely.
Yep. Awesome.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to say before we take a brief intermission, Krabby? Or
well, episode 50, I'll do that in the next couple of weeks, and that will be with Carson. And we will see how he goes on the 50th episode of season 1. So, I can't believe it's 50 episodes. I can't believe we have 50 investigators. It's incredible, just how much choice there is in this game in terms of who to play. It's just like it's mind-boggling now. There's so many cards, so many investigators. It's absolutely awesome.